Hello, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to assist you today in doing some work. Oh, I almost forgot to do this. It's kind of funny here. Okay, so here I go. Now you can hear me on the other shows here. Okay, so I'm here to assist you in doing some life work here because of the fact that we're in this huge doorway and I wanted to talk about it today. So, with that, I'm very human, obviously, right? So, we're in the solstice here. So, you in the southern hemisphere are dealing with summer, about bringing in this new, bringing in what have you been working on halfway through the year? What do you want to bring in to this new process for the next 6 months, right? Well, here in the northern hemisphere, I've got about 8 inches of snow. How can we negotiate going forward through the winter months of getting deep into ourselves, getting deep into our knowing? So, what I want to do is, I want to start the show off, and I'm going to use my singing bowl here to just give some tones. And I'm hoping you can hear it, but the energy could be cleared a little bit here. Okay, so here I go. Feels pretty good. There we go. Oh, have to do things in threes, right? So here I go, another one. I love how it goes a little deeper after a little bit. Here we go then. So, as we're clearing the energy and negotiating this energy field, right, that we're all going into the story of who we've been, right, and the story of where we're going. The thing about going into this uh, solstice that we're in, that it's amazing because in another day or two, we are, hello there, Veronica. We are here to negotiate with a new moon, too. And then we have Mercury is going to go into retrograde, and I keep forgetting to figure out the date that it absolutely goes in, but it's going to be probably here in this next couple of days, next week or two, or next week, in between the New Year, the Christmas holiday, as I know it, and into the new year here. So with that we're coming into this new year with Mercury in retrograde, and I know for me, this whole year, actually the last 2 years, feels like Mercury's been in retrograde because of the fact that literally the way a year starts, it kind of carries that theme throughout. But if you really look at how kindly, I want to represent that kindly, that Mercury, who gets a bad rap half the time, but kindly reminds us to rethink about something. It brings life situations in that tells us, relook at what you're talking about, relook at how you're typing up something and you're not even thinking about the email that you're sending, right? So it's telling you to relook at something, reapply what you're looking at. What how do I normally have a discussion about something? I was watching one of my YouTube little things that I like to watch Joe Frost. She's the super nanny, right? And these little bits that she shows people, and there was a couple on that they were just snipping and snapping at each other. And it was like, well, that's what Mercury wants us to do, is to relook at how we are interacting with one another, right? What is our intention behind something? It could be about, do we drive mindlessly, right? So these relooking at what we're doing. And hi on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook live, and I'm also on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, please go to my YouTube channel if you want to make a comment, because I don't get comments from Twitter at all. So for some reason. So with that as we're going through this scenario, if you really look at it, that we have the solstice today, we have the new moon, and we have Mercury in retrograde thinking, relook at it. Then we're coming into the new year. So relook at how we've gone into new years for a while, right? Usually we have these big ideas of I want to lose a 50 pounds, or I want to go and work out every day at the workout place, right? Or I want to get start my new business. But yet we're asking to be we're those are jumping in with both feet, right? But it's not about going that way. Mercury in retrograde says, okay, we got the solstice, big ideas. What can we do? It's like I always picture these equinoxes and solstices kind of like a big tube, right? And you're going down into this funnel, and as you're going down in this funnel, you're really looking at what do you really want to do with your life, what are you really thinking about your life, what do you want. Like for me, I'm going through, I like for Christmas sometimes I'm going through and I'm taking things out of my spiritual room and giving to people because they're looking for spirituality, right? So with that how am I going to repurpose something that is a blessing, right? So this repurposing of scenarios. So this funnel coming down so I can expand in this next year. And then you have the new moon. What is it that we want to create? What is this new plan? What do we want to do with our lives? Where do we want to go with our lives? And it's not about always material things. Sometimes it's about, taking a breath before I react. If that is the one thing that you want to work on, hallelujah. Because you know how many people are reacting in life instead of interacting? So, how can we look at things a little bit more with pleasure? I know a lot of us are burnt out. We don't want to go to work anymore. We're tired. Our bodies are tired. We're just struggling. What is the purpose of me being here? Everything seems to be fighting me. The thing I want to invite to you though is that like if you're in service, if you're like working at retail, how can you take the individual person that is in front of you and do one thing that would bring a smile to their face? Even if you can't bring a smile to their face, how can you bring in a neutrality? If they're coming in very upset, how can you kind of get them to breathe? Sometimes if it's about getting the simple things. So how can we get this solstice? How can we look at how we've been to how we want to go? I know for me, when I get done with the show here, I'm going to go and light a candle. I'm going to light a candle, and it's one that I have to put outside because it likes to smoke. But I'm going to light a candle and light it with some intentions because I'm believing in the magic that we have in front of us. And that's the thing about I wanted to, I in my bio here about the show, I wanted to put about in being get enthusiastic because it's not necessarily about doing things like I was talking to someone about who's going to come and visit here that and my child's going to come and visit. They live in another state and wanted to help with resume. Well, that's a great thing to work on right now. Relook at how they want to apply for some jobs. Doesn't mean necessarily that you apply for them. You may want to look for the job. You want to may see if there's an opening and slip it through, slip through the email to see if that gets triggered because you know that if you put out like 100 of them, one of them has to catch, right? So with that putting that intention out there, how can we bring the solstice energy, the new moon energy into creating new? Because it's about growing, it's about changing. But I can tell you it's not all about the outer world. It's definitely not about the outer world. It's about the inner world. How am I reacting to life? How am I judgmental in life? How am I how am I speaking to those around me? Am I speaking to those around me with old belief systems? Am I speaking to other people with my belief systems of my families that is outdated? Now, I'm telling you that things aren't always outdated, but they need to be updated just like a computer or a phone, right? So, how can we negotiate? How can we be? How can we look at life with a little bit different dance? Because it's not anything about being hard on ourselves. That's another thing we need to look at. We are so hard on ourselves about, oh, I should have done this, or I shouldn't have done that, or I could have done this, or I can't. But every failure is a reset for a new future, right? So that's the part of this Mercury in retrograde. And we got Neptune is in retrograde for a little bit longer, and there's a couple other things that are in retrograde. So with that, it's about these rethink, re-know, reapply, re interact with, because there's things that are going to come back around and negotiate. Thank you very much, Kevin. How can we apply these different scenarios in our lives? Because I know a lot of us are going on falsities. We're going on falsities in our life. I mean, I deal with a lot of falsities on Instagram every day. And I send love because it's not about me being judgmental with them. It's about saying, I'm not that person, but yet I want to give love. But I have a husband who I give love to. I have children I give love to. I have a dog that I give love to. So I love to give love universally. That's my kind of Reiki that I do. I give Reiki energy through my love, like having this conversation here. So going forward, this dance of the equinox or the solstice here. I know that the fall and the spring equinoxes, but every equinox and every solstice has a huge opportunity to push the big, huge red button, reset button. Now, everything that we do to reset does take practice to redo, right? And like I said, this isn't about well, we can make major decisions, right? We can make major decisions, but they can be little simple things. I'm going to give you an example. We got 8 inches of snow. Should I wait for my husband to scrape it? No. I'm home. Why don't I at least scrape the path that keeps, that goes to our front door, right? Clean up the front door. I even scraped out a little bit where he gets out of his truck because I'm kind, right? Did I scrape everything? No, because then he can make some steps between where my car was, right? But doing that dance of supporting each other. Now that's a little change that I did to show that I cared. Now, does that mean that I'm doing major stuff? No. But the one thing that he did for me is that he asked me when he came home for lunch, should I eat leftovers from last night or are you going to cook dinner? Knowing that Wednesday night is a big night for me to do a lot of my business. And so he's allowing me not to cook dinner, right? Or those expectations, which I'm going to tell you he has had in the past. But he's shifting and changing. Little actions create big movement. And thank you, Kim, for saying keeping it up. I cannot not do that. My husband's been saying, "Why do you keep doing this?" And I go, "Because it feeds my soul, and this is my life purpose." And so, how could I not keep it up? Life is about doing different, and sometimes it's about stopping. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Right? We can always do something a little different. Old judgments, old purposes, old expectations, do you notice I'm using the word old, right? We all have them. We all have them. I know for me, I do a lot of business on my phone. So it's real easy to go to the other app and play a couple of games of the brick game or Candy Crush or one of those, right? No, put the phone down. Put the phone down. So I'm walking into this new year with the intention, because a lot of the solstice work that I'm working on now is my intention for the next year. Because I'm re-looking at myself, reapplying. Phone is about technology, right? So I'm re-looking at how to rethink about how I negotiate myself, my relationship with my guides, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with who I am. Because if I'm preoccupied on my phone, I'm not creating a relationship, right? Now I'm a little ADHD. I am admitting to that, right? That, I do certain things and my mind is usually thinking, me being a woman, my mind is thinking about zillions of things, right? So for me, sometimes when I'm playing a game of solitaire, my brain is slowing down into one thing and I can engage with more things that are around me, right? That doesn't show people that I respect them or respect myself or my guides and my angels and my team, my spirit team that are around me, right? That if I spend some time listening to them, I don't want to call it meditating, but being available instead of distracting myself, being available. Then I get more spiritual, which means my spiritual helps me do my day to day life. Like when I woke up yesterday morning and I heard loudly, thank you, my team, that you're going to get a call from the chiropractor. I was trying a new chiropractor out because mine had a family emergency and she's not doing it right now. That I heard you're going to get a call from your chiropractor, maybe. So when I woke up and I got the phone call, I was ready to move whenever they needed me to move, right? So me being differently connected with my spirit, with my team, and we're all intuitive, right? We're all intuitive. So how can we be more in tuned with our helpers? By slowing down and engaging and getting rid of those small distractors. There again, something small, right? Because if we do the small work, we can do the bigger application. And going forward and doing this. So if you know of somebody who would like to listen to this, please share it because I'm wanting people to know that life is moving forward and going forward. So if you have a comment that's positive, I love Kevin. Thank you very much for uh doing what you're doing there with niceness. That I have people, but they don't love me. You know, I can tell you that. I can tell you that. And that's the thing that I work on. So Kevin says that I have people, but they don't love me. Well, that's the thing that I have learned in my life. There again, I have had to do a lot of self work. Like I know somebody who I was talking to and they have anxiety about reaching out and getting out with people, but they want to have somebody in their life, right? So they have to do the work to get out there. People would not understand that I was so shy and quiet that when I went to a party of like 5 people, that I would sit on the couch and be quiet. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Or if there's a party of 10 people, I'd be leaning up against the wall. I wouldn't talk to anybody. People didn't understand that I was so shy and quiet, right? This is who I am today. Because why? I started loving myself differently. I started loving myself differently, which attracted people differently in my life. So I ended up having more kinder people. So Kevin, if I can give this to you that don't love you, change that to being, how can I be kind to others so they can be kinder to me? Because kindness is a form of love, right? We may not find a lot of people who love us because a lot of people don't know what love is, right? How can anybody know what love is if they haven't been taught? And a lot of us come from very messed up families because they didn't know better to do better, right? So, how can we love ourselves and change the people we're around so that we can create love and a loving moment? So, there's that breath in, breath out. How can I change to represent my life around me? And that's where we need to start having better boundaries. If people don't love us, then say, I mean, excuse me, you got to talk to me differently. I love you, but yet this is not working for me anymore. So I'm going to go walk away for a minute and then I'm going to come back. But I do love you enough to say this, right? I've had to say that to my husband. This conversation's not working right now. Can we stop for a minute? Because of the fact that we need to create better habits of self-love to be able to negotiate that. And I can tell you when I lost my father, and then I lost my mother right away. And I had to take care of her at the same time I was having children. Um, and and the year after she left, that I was so hit with depression that I figured out how to find love for myself because I was feeling very unloved with the people around me, even though they were trying to show me, but yet I could not recognize it because I did not love myself. So, with this solstice and this new energy and this new knowing of where we're at, and I know a lot of the West now, there's a storm going through the United States, through the West here, going east, right? That we're getting snowed in. So, we're spending time with ourselves. But how do we spend time with ourselves? Are we doing something with love and kindness? No, we're not. We're not. And that's the dance of life right now, right? That's the dance of life is how can we can negotiate that love for ourselves to be kinder so we can see when other people want to love us, right? And that's the story of this the solstice here and the new moon right afterwards with the new year and the holidays in here. We have Hanukkah going on right now. We have Kwanzaa that's coming in. We have other belief systems. Can't name them all. I can respect and honor them. This is a magical time, right? This is a huge door opening. This is the Yule for a lot of belief systems. That's why I'm lighting a candle because I honor a lot of different belief systems. So, going forward and negotiating our life, how can we find that core self, which is about looking into how do we treat ourselves? Put ourselves on the list healthily. Healthily, like me, it's like I was telling my husband that I like to go to the chiropractor every 3 weeks to keep myself moving. My dad was a chiropractor since I was about 4 years old. And so went to school when I was 4 years old. So I've had chiropractic my whole life. So for me, going every 3 weeks is something that my body says, thank you. I have less headaches. I have less stresses in my body. My neck feels better. I feel more in alignment with the energy. And oh my gosh, how many people today had headaches? I'm just letting you know there was a lot of energy that was coming in, and it was all. If you go to my website, I do this uh, themed. I have different short videos. I have different, like this is on life clarifications with Natasha. I have a section that is about the dance of the soul, and then I have this section called "Let's Get Tiggered, Not Triggered." So this morning, I did a video on "Let's Get Tiggered, Not Triggered," and I was about having a headache, and I felt this energy field right here. Hello. On Instagram that you know so there's a lot of energy that was pounding into us. Yes, pounding into us. So if you're feeling off today, this solstice is huge coming in. Now I'm going to tell you that I can already feel the new moon coming in. And this new moon also carries a lot of energy as coming into this new year, because the Chinese New Year coming in, thank you with all the hearts there. I appreciate you. That this new year is about the rabbit, right? Get ready to leap, get ready to bounce, get ready to go for um, the new energy. Look for the greens in life, right? The rabbit always looks for greens, right? They also are great multipliers. So what do we want to multiply in our life? What do we want to go for? What are we going to do that is uh going for that knowing that we are, and it's a dance, right? And doing what we're going to do here, it's about living forward, living forward. Okay, so Kevin, you said I have loved someone who I gave my love a time because my heart. Oh yeah, so that's the thing is that the ebb and flow. I've been married for over 30 years with my husband, and I can tell you my heart got broken I don't know how many different times. So did his, right? And, there's that dance, right? So going forward and doing our dance and doing the motions and doing the lovingness, And I'm sorry that, someone said about stop talking and give me a smile. The show, it's kind of like having dead air, right? It doesn't always work. So, and Veronica, you said that you feel the energy right now. Yes. And if you're listening to this on a podcast later, or you're watching this video later, I can tell you that doorways are happening numerous times through the year. It's not always at the solstice or the new moons, but I know that new moons and the full moons and planets going into different clunk stages, right? Um, and oh man, my wife cheated on me with my best friend. Ouch. Oh, yeah. But I can tell you, every time something tripped me up, every time that I got pelted, my husband was an alcoholic, still is. He's 10 years sober now, but that they that all those times that I got tripped up, that it ended up teaching me something. So I'm offering that these experiences that we all have, that these experiences that we engage with, that are really painful, that are really um, ouchy, look at, what did you teach me? What did you teach me? And hi, Kamal from Pakistan. Thank you for coming in here. And Veronica says, will a lot of people be excited with this solstice? Veronica, I know that a lot of people are excited about 2023. I can tell you this, my first show after, I'm going to take the week off this next week from doing shows, the weekend between the 26th and the new year, that, that I'm going to be talking about the first show when we come back on that Wednesday, the first Wednesday after the new year. I'm going to be talking about what's going in with this new year. So with that this new year is going to be great if we're willing to do the personal work. Instead of looking at other people and judging them and hating them, coming in and saying, okay, don't like what you did, do not like what you did, like somebody taking, someone cheating on you, right? Or finding you that you're not loved anymore, or anything like that, that these experiences I haven't been blessed my whole life. I've always said that I got a whole lot of chili powder, and sometimes it blows up into implosions, right? But I call them implosions because it's coming inward to show me what I needed to work on, right? Um, I don't think this pain can ever end because I love her so much. And this is my childhood friend. Yes, I know that love is a really interesting dance, right? Uh, Thank you for saying about my good work. I'm trying to do the good work because I know that for me, thank you for all the hearts that that it is an interesting place. We all have a life story that something takes our legs out from underneath us, right? It is. With like I lost my dad to cancer. Then within 3 years, or 2 years, my mom had Lou Gehrig's disease. Then my uncle 2 years later had Lou Gehrig's disease. Then I lost my grandma and grandpa. And then I'm an only child, only grandchild. So I don't have any siblings to lose or anything like that. But it's like, and like this year, I've lost over 7 friends. You know, I lost two very close friends to me within weeks of each other. So, what did that emotion that triggered in me teach me about standing on my feet a little bit better? And that's the thing is that these things that implode on us, these things that implode can really be the thing that resets our feet. And that's the dance of how we work. And, that's how we do this dance. And, I'm going to tell you on Instagram, I'm sorry that I don't follow a lot of people back. I don't even do that on Facebook. I appreciate the followers. I want to help people, but I get a lot of people who have wrong intentions who follow me. And sometimes it's discernment that I'm trying to filter that through. And I apologize. So if I don't follow you back on Instagram, it's sometimes about that discernment of the wrong intention of how people are talking with me. So I honor everybody though. So with that doing this dance and doing the game of life and going forward, this solstice energy combined with the new energy is huge. And like I've been talking about it, it's about that inner work. A lot of us look on the outside of us. Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Right? But why am I not doing better? Like I was talking about, putting my phone down. I do a lot of work on my phone, but if I put it down, I can do my inner work better, right? I can do my inner work better. Engage with the person who's in front of me differently, right? I can engage with um, that that are going forward. And yes, that's because a lot of people have used stolen pictures and to thieve money. Exactly. And I get caught up in a lot of those people. A lot of people um, personal message me about that kind of stuff, and I'm done. So I'm trying to create good boundaries. I'm not excluding people from following me, but I'm not engaging. So I appreciate you saying that. Right. So when we're going forward with this new dance, is about creating better boundaries, loving boundaries with thyself, right? Loving boundaries with thyself. And if we can have those more loving boundaries with ourselves, putting down the phone, eating better food. I know a lot of us want to get better, healthier bodies because a lot of us are aging, right? And even if you're in your 30s and you've been eating crappy food, your body's probably feeling a little crappy, right? So, how can we negotiate a little bit kinder body? By doing better, by drinking more water, by swirling your water glass around. I love, I love, I love. I'm asking for love to be in my water, right? And if we do that and then we drink it, We're drinking more love, right? We're giving our healthy water, and it's that dance. How can we negotiate it? Have a good night, Kevin. Thank you for your input. So going forward in our life and dancing with our life, bless the things around us. Bless the things that are around us because we never know where that story can go, right? Take a chance. And if you're having anxiety, if you're dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of us are dealing with anxieties, and that anxiety is stopping us from where we want to go, then practice by going somewhere. If you have social anxiety, then practice walking across the room once and going to a table and sitting down. Get a different perspective in the room. You may find somebody who you might want to have a conversation with, right? So going forward, yes, it's getting to be night here too. So it's going to be the longest night with the solstice, right? Or because summer solstice if you are in the southern hemisphere. So what can we create? We have the new moon, or we have the solstice with the new moon, with the new year coming in. So this is a great week because shortly after the new year, we're going to have a full moon. What are we done with, right? So what can we create in this doorway of creating something new? And then halfway through, it's going to ebb into bless you and your family too. May the angels help you through this process that you're going through, Kevin. That as we're going through this the solstice, the new moon, the new year, then we're going to have the full moon. So what is it that we're going to be looking at that we can create in our lives? The rethinking, because the Mercury in retrograde, rethinking, reanalyzing, reapplying, renegotiating in ourselves, re-looking at, so that after the full moon, we can really say, you know what? As I was looking at something and analyzing something, like for me, I have to do my books for my financials because of my business, my intuitive business, right? So how do I want to re-look at doing that so it's better for me? I'm still old school. I have to write things down. you know, my typing is slower than my handwriting. Very dyslexic here, right? So with that, how can I reapply and renegotiate this dance? Thank you very much. I like the way you talk. So smart. That's the thing is if I can, that's why I'm doing so many videos now instead of typing them out. It's because I can speak them much more than I can write them, right? There's a lot in me. And I want to give you inspiration. I want to give you enthusiasm. I want you to know that this darkness that we're feeling on the longest day of night to day, right? And day to night for you in the southern hemisphere, because it's 12 and 12, right? It's equality. It's equality. How can we find equality in ourselves to having balance? And it starts with self-love. It starts with self-love. And if we can have that self-love about being kinder to ourselves, me putting my phone down is going to be kinder to myself because I'm going to be able to get to do more things, right? For one, my spiritual team is going to be able to talk with me more because I'm going to be more available, right? So knowing this and being calm about it, do your things. Dance is the greatest happiness to the heart. Oh, I so agree with that. And that's one thing that I probably will take more option of doing is turning on music and dancing more in the house. When I dance, my soul dances. Matter of fact, I need to get the girls together and go for a dance night. So with that, doing that, go forward, be inspired, find those things to bring light. Like for me, I'm reorganizing my spiritual room here because of the fact that it's time for me to look at my life a little differently. So change my environment, change my world, right? Change my environment, change my world. I have a closet and a bag that need to go out of the house, right? Change my environment, change my world. That's why I do feng shui because I love doing that feng shui of no, I cannot. I don't do spontaneous people joining my lives. Thank you very much for asking, though. So going forward, it's amazing that dance that we can do. The singing bowl wants to go again. Where's my partner here? So I'm going to do the singing bowl again. I hope you guys can hear it. It stirred up the energy a lot. It felt like it needed to be shifted a little bit here. Oh, I like how deep it goes. I don't know if you can hear it here. Let's do a little Ganesh. I have a singing bowl that's Ganesh. Breaks up the energy. I love Ganesh. He has helped me cut some cords to a lot of things. So, with that, I hope that today, with the solstice energy and the new moon coming up in the next day or two, that you can find peace in yourself, find love in yourself. Go in and do some retrospecting, rethinking about what can be done. If you're struggling to find a job, what can you do to find a resume? Now, I'm not going to say that a lot of jobs nowadays do not take resumes, but what I found though, doing some form of a resume gets you thinking about what you know, right? What do you know about yourself? If you're a home mom and you've been home and it's time to get out and start doing work again, what does doing being a home mom organizes chaos? uh, Keeps a household together. Maybe you do finances, so you know a little bit about finances. So maybe you can help an office run, right? So it's one of those things that going forward that we can do. And I can tell you, thank you about saying I'm not such a good dancer, but I can tell you though, if we dance in life, if we dance in life, what kind of dance are you doing? Because I can tell you sometimes the music that's playing, I don't necessarily enjoy that music of life, but yet if I dance with it, I can negotiate how to get through it. So sometimes, like when we have a partner who is our boss, right? And we are struggling working together. So think about music. Maybe like I don't really care for country, right? Well, I like the newer country than the older country. But if it's a music that you don't like and they're dancing to that music you don't like, how can you find something that is a compromise in that music to find a way to work with them? Okay. So life is like dancing. How can you negotiate what you're doing? Maybe you need to take another step sideways. Maybe you need to take another step to the other side. Maybe you need to move forward or back. Maybe you need to give over control, right? To your partner. Life. Give over control to the partner of your life. Doesn't mean giving over control necessarily, but it means giving over that total arms, strings, hands around everything and tight, right? Because sometimes I know for us women, when we're dancing with a partner, the partner takes the lead. But I know also, though, that if there's not a man there and there's two women who are going to be dancing, right, in the logistics of things, or two people who are loving each other of the same sex, right? Or, like my child uh who's transgender, find partners in life to dance with. And if you don't like your partner, find music maybe you can dance with. Or learn how to dance with music you don't really like, metaphorically speaking, right? May love be with you. So I'm going to take this opportunity right now. I'm in the last 15 minutes of my show here, and I'm going to pull some oracle cards. And these are oracle cards. Now remember that this is one that I'm going to pull one for going into the new year here. So I'm going to pull. If you want the oracle cards on Instagram, what I do is I tell you I pull an oracle card, and you don't have to tell me what it is. Just say that you want one, and I'll shuffle the deck, and the deck usually tells me what to pull for you. Okay. So I'm going to do gentle giants. The dragons want to come out again. So the dragons, this cool deck. So if you want an oracle card, doesn't matter what your belief is, all you have to do is put intention out there. And then who wants to come out? The fairies do, because the fairies are going to come alive this next year. So if the animals are speaking to you and the fairies are out, it will be an exciting year. It'll be an exciting year. New knowings. The veil is thinning to almost nothing, right? I have a friend that is good singer. Do you think you can raise him somehow? I'm not understanding. The fairies, please. Veronica says. Thank you. So if anybody would like an oracle card, I would be grateful to do that. And I will give you my impression here of what they're saying too. So if you know of anybody who would love this inspiration, please tell them about me, or share this video, or negotiate it. Okay, so Veronica, if you can put out your intention. This is for Veronica. And remember, if there's a card pulled and it says something to you, every card can have a saying that can reach you. So believe that even if you don't say you want a card, the message could be good for you. There we go. Thank you, Veronica, for your patience with me that way. Fairies are waking up. Fairies are waking up. Woo! Did you see those cards drop out? You got two of them, girl. So winter. So you got winter. So winter is the answer to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. So your answers to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. So you're in this doorway, my dear. And then, who do you need to forgive? As you release old anger or resentments, you will find that your wishes will come true. And isn't that the story? And that's what Mercury in retrograde. Hi, Stacy. That when you're in retrograde, it's about what do you need to release? What do you need to work on? So as you release, and who do you need to forgive? So you have the summer solstice here. So this is about, you have new blessings coming in, and who do you need to forgive? Remember, forgiveness, as my show on Monday was about, forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's not about forgetting. I'm not going there, like my husband drinking. If he started drinking again, I have forgiven him, but I have not forgotten. So if he starts drinking again, I'll have to make some big decisions, right? Because I'm not going there again. I have forgiven him, but I have strong boundaries. So forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that we have to forget. We just have to come to a neutrality in ourselves. Oh, that was a breath. Neutrality in ourselves. So let me see how much winter. Let me see how much reading there is here. Oh, who do you need to forgive? Okay. I'm going to read that one because I think that one's a good one for a lot of us. Whom do you need to forgive? This card indicates that your prayers will be answered as you release yourself from the inability to offer forgiveness. While you may feel justified in your anger, the truth is that your resentment is only hurting you. The rage you're carrying is blocking your deepest desires. Go outside and ask the fairies, the spirits of nature, to clear your mind, body, and emotions of lower energies. You'll find you'll benefit enormously by making the decision to detoxify yourself of old anger and resentment. Additional to this card meaning is forgive yourself and be cleared of toxic guilt, reduce judgment thoughts about yourself and others, send an apology note to someone, stop identifying yourself as a victim. Ooh, that one's big. Stop identifying ourselves as a victim and see yourself as powerful. Focus on the present instead of the past. Those are, oh, I wish we would have read that on Monday's show, on the Dances Song. So with that's that. Okay, so winter. So if anybody else would like a card, either the dragons, the fairies that I'm reading now, or the gentle creatures. So the gentle creatures are amazing. They're really cool. I was holding it wrong. Okay, I'm going to read the winter one. Okay, because I turned right to it. Winter, the answer to your prayers, Veronica, or anybody else that sings too, the answer to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. Winter is a time of contemplation, and this card indicates that your desires are realized during these months. In this meantime, just as the animals and the birds make plans for the season, continue working towards your goals by following your hunches and intuitive guidance. Additional meaning to this card: take rest, connect with family members and friends. Complete a project. Respect your body's needs. Call on the fairies to help in overcoming procrastination. You're moving to a cooler location. Plan a wintertime holiday or visit. Eat cooling foods or eat cooling foods. So with that, it's time to kind of go in. I could not have picked these cards better. So who do we need to forgive? And a lot of times it's ourselves, right? Because we didn't know better to do better. So is there anybody else who would like a card? Because I'm going to pick one here for the whole group here. The dragons. The dragons wants to come out for this next year. Oh, the dragons, they're part of the fae. They're part of the elementals. Ooh, they are waking up this next year. Ooh, so if you feel a dragon roaring for you, oh my, they're here. And I can help you connect with your dragons in a reading. So finding that, oh my, dragons are real. They are. We may not see them in physical form, but they are here, and they're waking up. They're part of our ley lines. So, dragons, what would you like to tell us for the beginning, for this solstice? What is the message for this solstice? There we go. Dragons, what would you like to tell us for the solstice energy? New moon. What would you like to tell us? Okay, this card has been up for a little while. Ooh, what is this? Actoromus. Actromus? Beautiful dragon. Actromus, I think is how you say his name. I haven't gotten this card yet, so I wonder what he will say. Actromus. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so 10, 15, 16, 17. And I'm on 18. Okay. So this is what this dragon wants to tell us about the solstice. Integrate the higher vibration within your work and life. Artemis connects with the Arcturians civilization. Arcturius connects with the Arcturians civilization, the peacekeepers of the galaxies. This beautiful dragon announces himself to me by stating, I am the dragon Artemis of the 7th golden ray dimension. I am kin to the Arcturian dragons, who were 7 dimensions, but choose to work with the 5th dimensions beings of Atlantis and overseeing the rise of their vibration to the 7th dimension. Well, you can tell he's out in the galaxies. If Artemis has joined your reading today, heed his words. The time has come for you to begin integrating with the 7th dimension, the golden ray energy, and initiate the process of arching its frequency into your being. This will enable you to shift the old layers of the 3D energy and release it naturally. It heralds the next phase of your incredible journey. Sorry if I'm butchering this, dyslexic here. Holding the clever vibration allows you holding the clear vibration allows us to view the world without judgment. Be at ease with ourselves and let go of the negativity. By accepting Artemis into your life, you are acknowledging you are ready to shift old DNA coding and integrate the higher vibration into your life. Wow. So in other words, this solstice is also about upgrading ourselves from the 3D world into a different dimension, which means releasing ourselves of judgment and of that victim mode. Blessings to you on your journey, and remember that you are loved even when you don't feel like it. And we all have someone in our life, spirit-wise, belief system wise, who does love you. And I know that Jesus, as much as he is put on a pedestal, he is very much down in the walking world of us and with love. Mother Mary is also that way. She doesn't care what you believe in, she's mother. So I want you to know that no matter where you're at and who you are loved. And I hope this show does show that to you, because the solstice is huge for creating new. I will see you after the new year on Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I will be talking about this year coming in. Blessings to you on this journey. And if you want to watch the Dance of the Soul on Facebook and my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter Angelic Clarifications, that you can watch about setting intentions on the Dance of the Soul with Regan Forston. Look for this on podcast. On most podcasts, you can listen to this. And blessings to you on this journey. Please like, follow, and share if you need. Thank you all for following me. I have had a blessed year with everybody who is following me. It has been amazing to bring love into this world and having more people get touched by it. I love you, and I mean that with great love, knowing that we are all human going through the human experience. Blessings to you. Bye now.